Welcome to BK Academy of Chess. This is the first video of a series titled, The Adventures of Black Knight. The goal of this series is to analyze my games for some instructive material. I titled this one Black Knight's Missed Opportunity. So let's get started. This game was against Blue 551, and I opened with 1. e4, e5, 2. e4. The King's Gambit, one of my favorite openings. E takes f4, 3. Knight f3, d6. The Fischer defense, although previously known, was advocated by Bobby Fischer after he was defeated by Boris Spassky in a Kieseritzky gambit at Mar del Plata in 1960. Fischer then decided to refute the King's Gambit, and the next year the American Chess Quarterly published Fischer's analysis of d6, which he called a high-class waiting move. The point is that after 4. d4, g5, 5. h4, g4. White cannot continue with 6. Knight e5, as in the Kieseritzky gambit, and knight g5 is unsound because of f6. This leaves the move knight g1 as the only option, when after 6 moves neither side has developed a piece. Here, the recommended move is d4, but I like playing the sideline for bishop c4. So what is the recommended book move for black? My opponent continued with knight c6. However, the book move is h6. The game continued with castle, knight e5, bishop b3, c6, d4, knight g6, knight g5. Now what was I thinking? A total blunder, but not enough to make me resign. One thing I've noticed in chess, if you grind it out, your opponent will always give you at least one opportunity to even the score. As we will see. Queen takes g5, g3, bishop h3. Bishop takes f4, knight takes f4, rook takes f4, knight f6, knight d2, bishop e7, knight f3, queen g6, knight g5. I know, I'm playing horribly. How embarrassing. Bishop e6, this brings us to the point of opportunity. How should white take the bishop on e6? Pause if you need time. Not by the way I played, with bishop takes e6, the correct move was knight takes e6. But now the question is how should black continue? Black leaves the door open with, if takes e6, when black should have played queen takes g5. After knight takes e6, I was feeling much better. I realized that I have narrowed black's lead and I'm feeling that I might be able to pull this off. So the game continued with, rook c8, queen f3, king d7, d5. After black plays, knight h5. I'm thinking that I might have something here, so I decide to harass the queen, trying to find some type of tactical combination, or maybe even find a draw by repetition. Rook g4. Now after queen f6, I missed the big opportunity that I was waiting for. How should white play, strategically, in the attempt to equalize? Pause the video and think about this. I played rook f1, but after analyzing the position with Fritz, I realized that I was concentrating too much on the king side and missed how weak black's queen side was. So what should white do about this? The move, queen b3, or maybe even queen a3, would have given me the fighting chance that I needed to even the score. So let's examine this option. Black is forced to protect the b-pawn with rook b8. Now white has time to get his a-rook into the game with by attacking the queen with rook f1. Now let's examine the position. Black has an extra minor piece, but his rooks are very passive, whereas all of white's pieces are playing a major role, giving white the initiative. Black is forced to play queen h6. Now how can white increase its pressure on the queen side? Pause the video now. Okay, let's continue. One way is to reroute the knight with knight d4, adding pressure to c6, while also threatening knight f5, attacking the queen and bishop. If black plays rook e to e8 to protect the bishop, white can continue with adding pressure to c6 with queen c4. Now black can check the king with queen e3, but after king h1, black has nothing else but to defend the underprotected c6 pawn with rook b to c8. Time for some tactics. Now what does white have if black tries to protect the pawn with rook e to c8? Okay, I hope you paused the video. White can now attack with d takes c6. The c6 pawn is adequately protected, but his bishop is left hanging. For example, after rook takes c6, white can do better than knight takes c6, with the crushing queen e6, forcing king c7, because if black plays king d8, black has a very powerful tactical play. Pause the video and test your tactical skills. White has knight f5, attacking the queen and threatening mate. Now let's turn back to the move rook b to c8. How should white continue? One way to continue fighting for equality is with d takes c6, b takes c6, queen e6, king d8. Now white can bring his queen back to play some defense while maintaining its position to attack. The game may continue with black bringing his knight back into the game with knight f6, but after rook gf4, white pieces are more coordinated and poised to continue the fight. It may not be easy, but this is chess. I hope you enjoyed this video and will come back for more of Black Knight's adventures.